Welcome, everybody, to Cup with Gup on this Thursday, December 9th. We have a little Thursday night football tonight. Get into the thick of things for these two teams, definitely with playoffs. Probably a must-win for both of them tonight to stay in the mix of things. No PGA this week. We get a little break here. It'll be back a little less than a month. So we will just talk about the Showdown slate tonight. Right now, you can join us. Use the code CUP, get 20% off, includes a 7-day free trial. I did a promotional video that is on our Twitter at Gup's Corner. It's pinned up at the top if you want to take a check, or 18 minutes long. Look at what everything we've got going. We will continue to enhance our tools and optimizer throughout the during our little break here, and then obviously the spring, and then ramp back up for football next year. Rate and review us on iTunes. I'll be doing some Christmas giveaways as well as our big giveaways will kick off as we march towards Daytona and the Masters once the calendar flips to 2022. This is your easiest and best way to get in. Also, the next best is like and subscribe to us on YouTube. If you are an audio-only person, hop over real quick, click like, subscribe, and then tell me your favorite captain play tonight for Vikings versus Steelers. In the description, there is a link to Underdog. Playoff best balls are back. Get a free dollar-for-dollar match up to $100 on your first deposit with the code GUP. It is about 62% full right now. If you missed out on the best balls in the summer, just found out what best balls were, this is a good way to get in. Check it out. It's $10 to enter each one. $50K in prizes for the playoffs. They also have the Thursday Night Football Rumble tonight, so you can go check that out as well. And they also have pick'ems where you can do mix and match parlays on the different sports, and they pay up to 20x. Looks like they're about to drop boxing in there as well, so that'll be cool. I'm always a big boxing fan, although MMA, UFC's kind of taken over as of late since Mayweather kind of dropped in the scene, but that'll be fun to do as well. First golf tournament will be back January 6th. We'll have that covered as usual. Tonight, we get the Vikings versus the Steelers. Minnesota at home, -3. Over-under is 44. Implied score, 23.5. Vikings, 20.5 Steelers. Key injuries, Thielen out. We know that. 12.9 is where he's priced at, so some discounts on a few guys. Dalvin Cook is questionable. Sounds like he's going to give it a go. We'll see. That's the biggest news we'll be watching leading up to kickoff. I got the Vikings winning this, barely covering, 27-23. I do like the over tonight. That is my favorite side of the game if I was going to take a bet on it. All my official plays for the week will be on the site per usual. So we get the Cook situation. The hard part is, I talked about this a little bit with Ryan earlier on the hot route, which is already out if you want to go check it out. Main slate breakdown, 11 games this week. It's easy if Cook is out because it kind of sets up for one of those slates where we know who the majority of the usage is going to go to. It's just a matter of where do you want to go. You get Jefferson, you get Madison, some form of Conklin, Osborne, maybe Dede gets a little bump with Thielen out. And then on the Pittsburgh side, you got Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Claypool. Then you'll get a little bit of Freiermuth got into the mix lately. Maybe a Washington or somewhere like there, a one-off type deal. But, and then the quarterbacks, obviously. But, your kickers, defense, stuff like that. So it's kind of, nailed down. It's just a matter of, picking the right captain, TD variants, all that kind of stuff. Very small pool. More of a slate for me. I like to MME it because, mix and match and combos, kind of get your core built and go with it. If Cook's active, it depends on how we hear he's active. How late does it get announced? I think it won't get announced till the true 90-minute mark. And I also think there's a chance he's active, but an emergency-only situation or lower workload expected type deal, like Henderson last week. We saw, didn't play at all, but he was on the sidelines active. Really key tonight that you are either, if you're not around, I'll probably update my premium article, and surely the GC Warrior Room will be flying with info to know where he's at. I'll be around and I'll be watching. I like to watch the countdown shows, and sometimes I'll listen to radio feeds, stuff like that, coaching interviews, trying to pick up key lingo on, yeah, we're going to give it a shot, or yeah, he's playing, but he's going to be half, or we may hear, hey, no restrictions, he's all in. That really will depend on how we go at that backfield. Because if he's in and we still just don't have a clear picture, I'd worry about a split load. And because Madison is priced up like a starter, it's hard to get into there and figure out which one you want to go with. So it really kind of depends on how it happens, when it happens. I'll update the premium article with my final thoughts on that situation and the potential leverage. And I'll kind of let that drive where I go in the backfield. Outside of that, like I mentioned, we get, a pretty concentrated player pool, no weather to deal with being in the dome. I think the two highest owned people in general is going to be Justin Jefferson and Deontay Johnson, which is unusual on a showdown slate. Normally, quarterbacks are, at least one of them is one of the higher owned. So you could have some leverage there at quarterback. Obviously, I love Jefferson, loved him last year, had bets on him last year, had bets on him this year. If not for CD Lamb, which obviously being a Sooner and then now a Cowboy, two of my favorite teams, he'd probably be my favorite wide receiver in the league. Talent-wise, I think he's a little bit ahead right now, but I think CD's right there. Jefferson's just shown off a lot better. So, and Thielen being out, we'll see how that affects it. Last week, it didn't hurt it much at all. Jefferson just took over, right? What he finished with, 180 and a touchdown. Not a spot I'll be light on him because I think this game will actually go over. I mentioned that just a little bit ago, and I think that both teams will be able to pass well. And you could see, I think Najee Harris will do good, but I think he'll be involved in the passing game himself. You're indoors. I just think this could turn into kind of a quote-unquote ugly game shootout. Quarterbacks are in play. You kind of got to pick what you want to do there. They're going to be lower owned than what quarterbacks normally are, so some leverage spots. I think Claypool could be a good pivot. Deontay Johnson's just a target monster, and he can break a slate. He does a lot. He won a lot of people money last week on Sunday in that late game time zone. So Claypool could be a good, I wouldn't say pivot. Maybe, you might play both, but it could be, especially a 1-3 max. So maybe you do a Captain Claypool and just hope it's his night to have a 12 catch type night, because so much focus will be on Deontay Johnson in ownership wise, and you got good pieces to mix in there. Whether you go Freiermuth, Conklin, who should see a little bit of a boost, Osborne certainly one of the guys I was on for a while early. He kind of showed some life, especially when they didn't have the tight end necessarily going. Well, now tight end's been in the picture, but now you don't get Thielen. You may see Osborne get a little bit more involved. I think he's got potential on the 5,600 and the flex. It's great value. Joseph and Boswell, kickers are both in play for me tonight. I'll probably be high on DD, a little bit of boomer love there, but $2,200. Someone's got to fill that third wide receiver role. You could see Smith-Marsette get some action, but I think if anybody, it would be DD. That could, I wouldn't say break the slate, but at his price could definitely be a good value play. In the D's tonight, I know they've kind of shined at times. Even Monday night in that crazy game, the perception was that we wanted D's, and I had enough of them. I didn't go all in on them, but I definitely had enough. But when you kind of think about it, hindsight, I was like, well, both teams are going to run a lot unless there's fumbles, which there was a couple on like punts and stuff like that. You're not going to see a whole ton of like pick six, touchdowns, that kind of stuff, and the low scoring just doesn't offset a lot. Tonight, they could get their pick or fumble or sack or something like that. But for the price and all that, both the kickers are cheaper than both the defenses. I prefer those first. You could certainly mix in defenses if you have a fill there. I think it's going to be a fun game, a fun slate. We obviously kind of got to wait around figuring out the Cook news. You could build two ways and go if he's in, if he's out. The one thing I would make sure of, whether it's checking our stuff out or whatever, is even if you see active, are we hearing anything as far as limited, what kind of role? Because I think that's crucial tonight. But in general, I kind of like the slate. I think it's going to be a fun game. Looking forward to it. My Monkey Knife Fight play of the night, link is in the description. Use the code GUPS, GUPS, free dollar for dollar match up to $100. I like both QBs over 22.5 completions. I don't necessarily know where everybody's, yardage and that kind of stuff in this type of game, but I could see Big Ben dumping off a lot. I could see Cousins, to his short kind of guys. Jefferson, should get some coverage, all due respect with, Thielen out. You could see quick tight end, stuff like that. Don't know if the yardage gets up there per se, but I think they could complete a lot of balls tonight, short, quick passes on both sides of the ball. So, and Big Ben likes Fairmouth as well. So that's my play of the night. Pays 3.6 extra money. The link is in the description if you want to go check that out. Coin flip will be out later today or in the morning. As I mentioned, hot route dropped this morning. The read option with Bobby Berger will not be out this week. There's only one game Saturday, the Army-Navy game. He'll probably put maybe a little bleep out for that for the premium guys on the Showdown slate Saturday, but well-deserved break for him this week. And then we'll kick it back up with bowl games starting next Friday. I believe there's a 2-game slate. And then it's, not daily, but almost daily, probably outside of the NFL on the bowl game. So that'll be fun times, especially in the GC Warrior Room with those games going on during the week. If you'd like to join us, check it out. Free 7-day trial, as always. Cup gets you 20% off and includes that trial. If you don't like it, you can cancel at any time. Wish you guys all the best tonight. Good luck. Have a blessed evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.